Welcome to Much Ado About Payments. My week this week on Monday started with a wrap when I stood down as the Senior Advisor at the Payment Systems Regulator. From APP fraud reimbursement limits to decisions on the new payments architecture and also the revocation of procurement decisions in terms of payments infrastructure, it's been a real privilege to be part of the decision making at the UK's payments regulator. I'll watch with interest as the PSR's roles, people and powers merged into the Financial Conduct Authority. On Wednesday this week, I met Thea Watts, Regional Manager for Cash Access UK, to talk about a banking hub and how that transforms in-person banking in a town. So my first question is, as the last bank in town leaves Malden, what is the future of banking in Malden?
So the great news for Malden is that Link has recommended a banking hub with an ATM. So what happens is when a last bank in town, this occasion it's Santander, announce their closure, Link do an assessment on that community and they look at all sorts of things and they will go, right, we recommend a deposit solution or something. So Malden is getting a banking hub. So this will provide banking services to the community and further communities that are near Malden. So face-to-face banking with a community banker and also access to cash services and everyday banking like deposits and withdrawals, etc.
What services can I expect to get from this new banking hub?
Okay, so if you want to do your general day-to-day banking such as deposit a cheque, withdraw money, deposit money or pay a utility bill, then you can do that at the counter 5 days a week, Monday to Friday 9 to 5. You don't have to wait for your specific bank to be there. If you have something a little more complicated, so you have a loan or a mortgage inquiry or you're worried about potential fraud like an email, if you don't want to do any sort of account management or you've got an issue with your card or something like that, then it's best to go to your community banker. So 5 banks will be represented on each day of the week.
In this week's Payments Unpacked, we brought a game changer for sellers of the big issue. There's now no need for Wi-Fi, a card reader or device charging because big issue sellers can now offer you a QR code to pay for your magazine while they're on the high street. You'll find out more in the link below. There's lots of discussion at the moment around the future of payments infrastructure here in the UK. But this week's I've been pondering on the fact that Rome might not be burning, but I wondered whether we're fiddling. So we've had cheques for 3 centuries, we've had backs and direct debit for over half a century now, and we're close to having 2 decades of faster payments here in the UK. All 3 payment systems faithful servants as they serve the UK's population. I've had 2 of my decoding payment sessions today. The first one was out in the Middle East, virtually of course, thinking about payments regulation. And secondly, I'm just off to an institution outside of London thinking about UK payment schemes and how we can decode them to make sure that the propositions offered by these banks serve their customers well. As I've been driving up here, it sort of occurred to me that perhaps Rome isn't burning, but are we fiddling as we think about the future of retail payment infrastructure here in the UK? If you want to know more about my sessions on decoding payments, there's a link in the notes below. That's it for Much Ado About Payments this week. Don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe at payments-unpack.com. That's payments-unpack.com.